What's going on, guys? Technology Raw here, and today I'm going to be doing a little video on basically preparing for AMD's Ryzen processor. So basically I'm just going to be going over my computer specs and benchmarking my computer with certain programs like PC Mark, 3D Mark, having benchmark, things like that. I'm going to reset my clocks on the processor and the graphics card to their stock settings, except my graphics card is flashed with the overclocked edition of the Strix 1070, so I'm just going to keep it at stock clock speeds of the OC version on my graphics card, because my graphics card's the original non-OC version, but you can flash the BIOS to make it to the OC version, which is what it is right now. So I'm going to reset it to those stock speeds, the OC stock speeds, despite the fact that the graphics card came as a non-OC version. But anyway, that shouldn't really matter. But yeah, so I'm basically just going to reset everything to like normal state, no overclocks, nothing, just straight like if it was out of the box type of thing. And yeah, so I'm basically just going to be doing that and testing out my system, see the scores, note them down, and then once Ryzen comes out, I'll upgrade my system. We'll do some more testing and all that. There will be a part 2 basically of this video, you could say, of when Ryzen comes out and when I get it and when I upgrade it and all that type of stuff. And then we'll see the comparison from an FX 8320 to a Ryzen 8-core 16-thread processor. So yeah, that's pretty much what this video is about. It's just prepping for Ryzen. So let's go ahead and get started. Actually, I should probably mention my parts list, even though I kind of did mention them already a little bit, of my computer. So my processor is an AMD FX 8320. My graphics card is the Asus Strix 1070. Non-OC version, but I flashed it with the OC BIOS, so technically it's the OC version now. The motherboard is an Asus M5A99FX R2.0 motherboard, and I have 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. That's 600 megahertz from I believe it's Kingston that I'm using, HyperX memory. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all that matters right now, because all of that is going to be upgraded except for the graphics card, because obviously that's new. But everything else, like the motherboard, the processor, the RAM, they're all going to be upgraded. So yeah, alright, now let's go get started. Alright, for our first benchmark, we're going to be using PC Mark 8. I've never owned PC Mark before, so it's actually pretty cool how I own it now, simply because Humble Bundle is having a thing right now where if you pay $12, you get a boatload of programs that include PC Mark, 3D Mark, and other stuff too. So that was awesome. So when I saw PC Mark was part of the bundle, I definitely needed to get it, and now I have it. So we're going to be doing this first, then 3D Mark, and then the other benchmarks like Valley and Heaven and all that type of stuff. So like I mentioned earlier as well, everything is reset to its stock settings. So my processor is on its stock settings, the graphics card's on its stock settings, the RAM's always been stock, so there's nothing to change there. So yeah, basically everything is vanilla, like if it was fresh out of the box. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be new to me, so I'm actually going to be watching what this program does with each section, except for the hard drive and SSD stuff. We don't really need to do that. But yeah, so what are we doing? Home, creative, work, and applications. We'll do all those except for storage, because like I mentioned, I don't really think there's that much of a difference with storage benchmarks. Anyway, so yeah, we'll basically be doing almost every test, and I'll watch it, see how it goes. Like I said, this is a new experience for me, so I actually like watching benchmarks that are new on my computer. I just like watching them, seeing what they do that involves benchmarking my system and all that. I also have a monitor in the background that's checking out the temperatures and all that type of stuff, so I'm going to be noting those down as well. But anyway, let's just go ahead and start with the home benchmark. So let's see, settings, benchmark, descriptions, how to use it. Let's see, run accelerated or run conventional. This one says measure baseline performance, so I guess I'll just do run conventional. But yeah, so I will see you guys once I am done with all the tests, actually. I'll gather the scores of each test, and I'll tell you guys what I got on each of the tests. So I'll see you guys in about maybe like 30 minutes. Yeah, so you know how I said about 30 minutes is when I would see you guys again? No, it took about like 3 or 4 hours to complete all the tests. This is the first time I've ever had a benchmark take so many hours, but it just goes to show how reliable PC Mark is and how much of a benchmark it does on your system. and this is already the next day. I recorded yesterday, now I'm resuming today, simply because since it took so long, I didn't have time to film anymore. I just had to run all the benchmarks and have the scores, and I just decided that I would continue the video tomorrow, which is today. So anyway, so here we have the work benchmark right here, and then the creative and the home conventional. So I didn't do all the benchmarks like I said I would. I only did home, creative, and work, simply because if I go to the screen right here of benchmark, I'll go to the results in just a second. If I go to storage, like I mentioned before, I'm not doing that because, one, it would take way too long because the freaking estimate is like hours, and two, I don't really think this would change despite the fact of changing my processor and RAM and stuff like that. And then applications is you have to have Microsoft Office or Adobe Photoshop or stuff, in which I do have them installed, but I don't really see the point of benchmarking these, honestly. That's just me. So I just did home, creative, and work. So going back onto this screen, the score we got for the home benchmark was 2,707, and then right here it shows more detail like the seconds, milliseconds, frames per second, the duration of the test, and the score we got between the gaming PC and the notebook, so right in between those. And then for the creative benchmark, we got a score of 3,137. Again, more details here. In the middle, again, of the gaming PC and the notebook. And then on the work benchmark, we got a score of 2,494. And the notebook actually beat my computer, which is kind of sad. But again, most likely it's because of the processor I have. So I guarantee you that if I had a Ryzen processor, I'd probably be way above the notebook and maybe even at the gaming PC score range. Again, more details here and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, and what's cool about the PC mark is I told you guys I had a temperature monitor in the background. Actually, there's no need. It already has one right here. The CPU temperature, GPU temperature, sometimes I talk way too fast, and CPU clock as well, which is really cool. That is really nifty, and if you drag your mouse like that, it actually tells you the different temperature changes and time changes and all that type of stuff. So that's really cool. So I don't even need to have a monitor anymore. I could just use it. Or actually, no, I do need the monitor for other benchmarks like the 3D Mark benchmark. 3D Mark benchmark, Heaven benchmark, stuff like that. But for PC Mark, I have them right here, which is pretty cool. I'll probably base the temperature differences and stuff based on this benchmark only then. So I may or may not just capture the temperatures for the other benchmarks. I don't know. I'll see. But yeah. So even though this is the home benchmark, temperatures and whatnot, I'm just showing you guys that there's a tool like this in PC Mark, which is really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it for PC Mark. We're gonna go ahead and now go on to 3D Mark and see how it performs there. I've done a benchmark on that recently, but that was when I had everything overclocked, so I'm just gonna do it again, do the benchmark again, but with normal clocks and all that type of stuff. So let me go ahead and get that set up, and I will see you guys there. Alright, so here's 3D Mark. I'm going to be benchmarking using the Skydiver, Firestrike Extreme, and Firestrike Ultra and Time Spy benchmarks. Basically, right now it's just wanting me to turn off juicing before I do it, so I'll probably just do that right now. But yeah, so I'm going to run all these benchmarks here, and then I will come back to you guys with the score, and I'll show you guys the scores, and then we'll move on to the other benchmark. And here are the results for the 3D Mark benchmarks. For Skydiver, I got 22,124, and then here are the other scores like the graphics, physics, and combined score, and then the ranking system down here. So in between gaming PC and gaming laptop, better than 72% of all results. I forgot to mention that for the PC Mark, but yeah, it's right there. And then for Firestrike, I got a score of 9,457, again between gaming laptop and gaming PC, better than 59% of all results. For Firestrike Extreme, I got 6,371, between 4K gaming PC and the gaming laptop, better than 54% of all results. Then for Firestrike Ultra, I got a score of 3,876, between 4K gaming PC and gaming laptop, better than 37%. And then Time Spy, which is the latest benchmark they've released, with a score of 4,741, again between 4K gaming and gaming laptop, better than 50% of the results. So yeah, that's pretty much all the benchmarks for 3D Mark. So now I'm going to move on to Heaven benchmark and Valley benchmark, and then I think I'll call it a video right there, just all the benchmarks I've already done on my PC, 3D Mark, PC Mark, and then those two extra benchmarks. I think that should be enough to see the difference between a AMD FX 8320 versus a Ryzen processor, whichever one I get. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do those, and I'll show you guys the scores for those, and then we'll conclude the video. Alright, so the Valley and Heaven benchmarks have completed. So for the Valley benchmark, we got a score of 2799. I ran this on ultra quality and at 1440p as well. I just realized it's 1.0. I don't know if they ever made a new version, so if they did, I probably need to check that out. But I'll probably still use this version if I upgrade. So there's this one, and then for the Heaven benchmark, I got a score of 1743. Ultra quality, tessellation at extreme, and again 1440p. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for all the benchmarks I'm gonna do. I have Heaven, Valley, 3D Mark, PC Mark. That's a bunch of benchmarks right there, and honestly I think that's pretty much good enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this video, and yeah. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Like I said, I'm going to conclude it here. So basically this video, like I mentioned, was just all about my specifications for my current rig right now, and doing benchmarks on it, getting some benchmark results, so that when I upgrade to Ryzen, we can do a comparison between the FX 8320 versus whatever Ryzen chip I get. I do plan on getting the 8-core 16-thread version. There's, I think, 3 or 4 of them coming out. I'm going to get the one that's the cheapest. I would go for the highest, best one, but I don't have that much money right now. And then I'm also going to have to upgrade my whole computer, because obviously it's AM4, so that's a whole new, generation. So I need to upgrade my motherboard, my RAM, and obviously the processor. So I have to upgrade 3 things, basically a complete build upgrade, which I'm excited about, but that's also a lot of money. And I'm also thinking about getting a new case as well, because I've had this case for like a couple years already, and kind of tired of it, so I do want to upgrade that. So it's not that this is a bad case. I love this case. It's a really good case. If you guys don't know what it is, it's the Corsair Air 540, the cube one. I really like the case, but I've had it for so long already, and I feel like if I'm upgrading my whole system, basically, I might as well upgrade the case too, and get some potentially better airflow as well, because I'm looking at the NZXT H440. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Stay tuned for when Ryzen releases and I make a upgrade video or anything like that. I will do that as soon as possible. As soon as I have all the parts ready to go and ready to upgrade my computer and all that, I will make a video about it, and probably either upload it that same day I do my upgrades and stuff, or the next day, because this is a pretty big release and I'm very excited about it, and I know everybody is as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Later.